Welcome to the Gals Guide to the Galaxy podcast, where a group of gals gather for you one cool thing around our topic of the month. Is it ancient history? Is it breaking news? Is it safe for work? Well, that's up to each gal. All we know is that...
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
We're back! Truly, so sorry for the delay. Okay, so we were MIA for all of August. And see, what happened was I took an amazing trip to Colorado. Our podcast editor survived a very complex surgery. Hi, Lisa. Everybody say hi to Lisa, our glorious podcast editor. And Katie and I got COVID. So it was a mess, y'all. But we're happy to be back, and we're on Zoom to protect Bonnie because we love Bonnie and we're protecting her by being on Zoom. So it's just the Charlie's Angels of us. It's just us three amigos. And why all these movie references? Because I'm Leah and that's what I do. But also because this month we are celebrating Filmmaking Gals. That's right. So let me introduce your cast and crew this month. First up, it is the library manager of Gals Guide. It is Bonnie Fillenworth, everybody. Yay! Bonnie, tell the good people what you've been up to for the last 2 months.
The last 2 months?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Oh, goodness. Looking at my calendar.
I know. Well, you watched my puppies while I was in Colorado.
Yes.
Thank you.
We had 4 puppies in my house, and it was awesome.
Magical.
Yes. Trey was like, I don't like little dogs. And the first night, they're all in his lap, and he's like, they're so cute.
I know, right? Yeah, they grew on you. Kind of like a virus. But have you been doing like art fairs and all that kind of good stuff?
There's not too many here in July because it's I'm trying to think of really what the opposite of colder than a witch's tit would be.
Hotter than the blue blazes.
Sure.
Yes. I don't know what it means, but that's what
but no, I've got Penrod coming up, and then Fountain Square Art Fair, which has been closed since COVID. They almost had it last year and then canceled it. And then Monument Circle Art Fair, and then Irvington Halloween.
Ooh, so you got some fun ones coming up then.
Yeah.
So everybody will have to go to your glorious website, which I will put in the show notes, but it's bonniefillenworth.com.
Yeah.
And go and subscribe to newsletter because Bonnie's really good at sending out where she's going to be. She's using a face right now, which is, oh crap.
I'm really good at sending it out. Sometimes it's like the night before.
Yeah, it's within hours of the event. It's okay. Some people don't make plans until that morning anyway. And then it's right there in their box. So it's perfect. But yes. All right. So next up, if I'm not mistaken, and I double and triple checked myself this time, I get to introduce her for the first time on the podcast, not the first time in life, because I was the first one in life, to introduce her as Katie Young, ladies and gentlemen. Yes!
This is Katie.
Katie got all married and stuff. So, tell us about married life these last few months.
Oh, well, I have to say, our wedding was amazing.
Because of you.
Because Leah married us, officiated our wedding, and gave a beautiful speech.
Which you both approved, so I'm just saying, you guys can take ownership.
Yeah, there were some amazing pop culture references in there.
I got a Star Wars reference in it.
Of course you did. And I, as a thank you, got you a Rebel Princess drinking glass. So
you did, which I am always drinking in, except for tonight, because why? It would only be fitting that I would actually be using it. But you were a beautiful bride, and Joshua was a handsome groomsman.
Yeah, it was all wonderful and beautiful. And after we got married, we had the laziest summer of my entire life.
Love it.
We did nothing but park our butt in front of the TV the entirety of the summer. So, but we're back to work now.
Win-win. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we were until I got COVID, but now we're back. And I'm happy to be back on the podcast. I missed you guys.
Sweet. Well, we missed you, Joe. So glad the three of us are back together again, and I swear next month we will have guests that will come and all that kind of good stuff. So but as for me, I am Dr. Leah Leach. I'm the executive director of Gals Guide. I am a retired filmmaker. I mentioned this because it's Filmmaking Gals Month, so it might come up if it's the first time listening. I made 18 indie movies before I found it wasn't fun anymore. But I am still a massive movie geek. If you can describe a film poster or cover box, I can tell you what movie it is. It's a certain set of skills that not even Liam Neeson has. But I am very happy to be back with these lovely ladies. And before we dive into our very first filmmaking gal, we're going to look at the calendar of what is happening at the library this week. Mm-hmm. So very fittingly, for the week of September 12th through the 18th, we have Film Club on Thursday. So September 15th is Film Club. We meet online and at the library. So you've got the best of both worlds there. To get the Zoom link, you do need to be registered. It is fast, it is free, it is at galsguide.org. We're going to be talking about the documentary The Natural, the untold story of Alice Guy Blanchet. It is a great documentary. It is directed by Pamela Green. It will inspire you. It'll make you question everything you know about the movie industry, and it'll probably piss you off and make you cry at the same time. It's a very rare thing, but this movie documentary has that wonderful ability. So join us on Thursday as we talk about Alice. A new feature that is coming to the Gals Guide Library, September 17th at 9 a.m. Notice the strain in my voice at the 9 a.m. My wonderful husband, Joshua Leach, is going to be leading a walking club around Noblesville, starting at the Gals Guide Library. All fitness levels are welcome. Bring rain gear just in case, bring sunscreen just in case, and come walk around Noblesville. So walking club starts. Woot woot. Exactly. So for more information, more of what is on our calendar, go to galsguide.org, click on that glorious calendar. But the really big, nagging, wonderful, absorbing, mind-provoking question of all time, Bonnie, who is your one cool gal?
We must know.
Exactly. Inquiring minds want to know who Bonnie is starting us off with.
My gal is Margaret Booth.
Woot woot!
I've also heard some people call her, I forget if it was Maggie or Peggy.
I've heard both. Yeah.
She was born January 16th, I put 19, but that's not. It's 1889.
Yeah, she's an oldie.
I couldn't find any information on her parents. Or what they did for a living or what, but her brother, Elmer, good 1800s name, he was also in the film business. He was an actor, and he died when Margaret was 17.
Oh, wow.
He was the breadwinner, it sounded like, for the family, and was set to be in I don't know any of these old Hollywood names. A D.W. Griffith movie?
Yes, very important. Yes.
And Griffith delivered the eulogy at his funeral.
What?
And offered Margaret a job as what they called a cutter in 1915.
That's how she got the job? See, I knew that she worked for D.W. Griffith, but I did not know that's how she got the job. Okay, that's fascinating. Good job. Wow. But he spoke at her brother's funeral?
In here. I think everything I listened to the Your Gal Friday podcast that covered her and 3 other amazing film ladies.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's how she got a job as a cutter. And the job of a cutter was a tedious job involving small parts, magnifying glasses, and scissors. So naturally, you get a woman to do it.
It's like sewing, right?
It's sewing. So they were like, so most of the they eventually become editors, but they called them cutters back then, were women. And I'm sure also paying them less.
Probably.
She went to work at a studio run by Lois W. Meyer and worked with director John Stahl, who taught her more about editing. And he had a habit of just leaving all his extra film bits on the floor. So Margaret would practice editing with those.
It's a good way to do it. It's like the little scraps, you know?
Yeah.
You can't really mess it up. It's already trash.
She seems to be the first cutter to be given the title film editor. She's felt that editing needed a rhythm, using like downbeats of music in musicals, or if there was marching, she'd do it to the footsteps. The studio she worked at eventually got merged with a few others, and which became MGM, and she was promoted to supervising editor in 1936. Left MGM in 1968, retired in 1986, and was known to be blunt. And when editing a film for a director, she once said, Lee's already smiling. She already knows.
I love this. Yes, go.
She said, "Are you telling me you want that on a 60-foot screen?" And he replied, "I guess I don't, do I?"
I love that.
Like it, tell it how it is.
It's the best way to be like, so you're wrong and you want everybody to see it? Like up there, like they can't ignore it, like it's that wrong. I love it.
She preferred that directors stay out of the editing room. Received an honorary Oscar in 1978, along with several other awards.
That took a while.
Yeah, I did. Well, yeah. Oscars.
Aren't we shocked?
I don't know when they started giving out honorary Oscars.
When they started realizing that a lot of old pioneers never got an award. They started doing this honorary thing of, oh crap, we never gave them one. She
was apparently like the lady, like she worked on a bunch of films and never received like credit for them. Like everyone wanted her to work on them, and she was like editing everybody's stuff. So like, I don't even know if we'll ever know how many she all edited. And I can't.
A lot of times she was like a second opinion. You know what I mean? Like somebody actually did the editing, but they'd say, Margaret, what do you think of this? And so her eyes were on it, but that's not really a credit. You know what I mean? But yeah, you don't want it, you know, to be like, does Margaret think it's okay for a 60-foot screen?
Yeah. But she died October 8th, 2002 at the age of 104. This woman lived through World War I, World War II, the Great Depression, the Vietnam War, through the age of like typewriters into computers and the internet and smartphones. Like,
I was gonna say, think about how much film editing changed during her lifetime.
Yeah.
She was like D.W. Griffith, and then her last film was what, Annie? The 1980s film?
Annie in 82.
That's like so much film had changed between, you know, talkies, silent films, and Annie.
The black and white to color, to
Technicolor Dreamboats.
THX.
Yes, exactly. Oh, yes.
But she never married or had children, and I couldn't find. She seems to be lumped together in a whole bunch of other resources about like other women in Hollywood, especially like the behind the scenes ladies, but I couldn't find something that was like just on her. So
yeah, right.
Like Alice Ball, some of y'all authors need to be right. She lived to be 104. Like there's got to be a ton of stuff like correspondence, all the Hollywood people you want to interview. Be like, I'm writing a book.
I know, right? Margaret Booth totally needs a book dedicated to the work that she saw, the work that she did, and the work that she was part of. She was huge at MGM.
Yeah.
Yeah, much more than a footnote to history. I love her sassiness. Mostly, I love the sassy. I mean, I think
I love the ladies who were like, not messing around, like how Ruth Bader Ginsburg was just like, I don't like the small talk. And I'm like, yes.
And I think I think part of it is also an editor is in a dark room generally, or at least a room by themselves for long periods of time. And so it is a very solitary thing. And so your niceties and your timing kind of goes out the window of just, no, doesn't work. Crap. I got to move on. Like it fits the job very well. It reminds me of Thelma Shoemaker. It's called The Mother Cutter.
Nice.
She is Martin Scorsese's go-to editor. She's worked on a variety of stuff, but I mean, like, she's always with Marty. She's like, they work together. But the idea that she was the mother cutter really set the tone of what a female editor is. They are on point. Nobody's ands, biffs, or buffs about it. You know what I mean? Just to the job, get it done. No, that's wrong.
Yeah, I watched a little thing on YouTube that talked about just women in editing in early Hollywood. They talk the whole time in the background. They're showing little clips of all these movies that women have edited, and I need to get my list. It was
I'll bet you it's an amazing one. And while you're getting that, I know that Margaret Booth, one of the ones she worked on was a little film called Ben-Hur. Just a little editing project, you know. Barely anybody has heard of Ben-Hur, right, Bonnie? That she worked on?
Yeah, Ben-Hur was one of the ones that she did.
But Wizard of Oz.
She's
wow
credited in that one, I think.
Okay.
But they know that she did it.
Right.
So I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I think because it was passed around to so many different people, so it was kind of like the percentage of what she worked on was enough to say, yeah, she did the majority of it.
But yeah, this is just a short list, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch more. And I also had a little infographic I saved from the thing.
Oh,
that is horrible, but it's a little chart of women employed in top 250 films by role in 2017. And for editors, it's only 16% of the workforce. So 16% of women are doing the editor, which it started off with being like 100%.
Right. It was woman's work. Right.
Until men were like, oh, you can actually like kind of control a story and a narrative, and you can be like creative with this. No.
Also, you can fix other people's idiocy, because if they're filming stuff that does not make sense, you know what I mean, or like they lost the story, you can fix it in the editing room. Ask George Lucas, because George Lucas lost his story many times and says that he found it in the editing room. So, I mean, a good editor can save your crap. I mean, I remember I worked on a movie. I handed the little box of digital footage to my editor and went, find it somewhere in there, because I really didn't know if we even filmed enough. So a good editor can save you a damn movie.
So they go, I think, in kind of sort of chronological-ish in here, but Mutiny on the Bounty, which I think is Margaret Booth.
Yep.
Lady from Shanghai, Anything Goes, My Darling Clementine, All About Eve, The 10 Commandments was edited by a woman. Odds Against Tomorrow, Dog Day Afternoon, Bonnie and Clyde, The Breakfast Club, Lawrence of Arabia.
Freaking love that movie. Yes.
Jaws.
Yeah, should probably save that one. Yeah.
Raging Bull, Casino, Goodfellas, Kill Bill #1, The Moulin Rouge, Mean Girls. Like, that is a famous cut of that school bus.
Right. But so these are all films that are edited by women.
Yes.
Yes.
Boyhood, Moonlight, E.T.
Yes.
Mad Max, I, Toya, Black Panther.
Yes.
Aaron Brockovich. It's like, and that's like, I don't even know. That was just like in the background of a 6-minute video. Like,
right. Of just fantastic films cut by women. Yeah. Yeah. It's brilliant.
Incredible.
And you were saying the Wikipedia page for Margaret Booth's brother
is longer than hers. even though he only lived to be like 30.
Right. And she was 100
she lived to be 104 and had a 70 year-long career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I believe that in the industry they have a term for it. I believe it's called bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It's infuriating.
Mm-hmm. Yes. No, I love her. I love her work. She is amazeballs. Well, sweet. Katie, did you have any questions for Bonnie about Margaret Booth?
No questions, but thanks for sharing, Bonnie. That's incredible. I had no idea. I've never heard of her before.
Plus, a nice spotlight on female editors, just really unsung heroes. An editor is an unsung hero in any film. Having that women in the room at the editing booth is just, it's awesome. It really does elevate a film's empathy and, I don't know, have it make sense. Just saying. Sweet. Well, should I wrap it up, darlings?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's like I don't even know how we did this anymore. No, I'm just kidding. Dun, dun, dun. Well, that wraps us up for this week. Join us next week as another cool woman of history on the Gals Guide podcast continues. Thanks for listening. For show notes, links, and images from this week's show, visit galsguide.org. Want exclusive stuff like deleted bits and major bloopers? Become a Gals Guide patron today. Thanks for listening.